What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel. Now, today we are going to bring you an episode about a mon that, if you've been playing at all online or against other people, you've definitely seen this mon running around. In fact, the usage stats are up for this past month, and Galarian Darmanitan, who we'll be talking about today, is the second most popularly used mon for this first month of competitive, which is pretty crazy. Dragapult is currently number 1, and Ditto number 3, Excadrill number 4, Corviknight number 5. That's your top 5. And it's pretty crazy to have our top 6 Pokemon at over a 20% pick rate. That's pretty crazy, and that just shows you that some of these mons are pretty broken. I do kind of expect Dragapult to get banned eventually, and Darmanitan I could also see getting banned. It may stick around, or we may have one of its abilities get banned. I think it would be nice to still keep it in the tier, but ban its main ability and allow it to keep its hidden ability. But we'll just have to see, and we will talk about what his abilities do today. So back to Galarian Darmanitan. So first of all, HP stat of 105, that's really good. Attack of 140, really good. And speed of 95, that's not too bad. It's not the best, but it's also not bad at all. His defenses and special attack are really low. So we will not be running a special set. Sorry, no special meme set on this. But this thing is absolutely ridiculously powerful. And the reason that is because of its main ability called Guerrilla Tactics. Now what this does is it basically gives him a choice band just for existing, which I don't know who at Game Freak thought that this was a good idea, but that's what they did. And so this first set we're looking at is a Choice Scarf set. So essentially, this Darmanitan is holding a Choice Band and a Choice Scarf and getting the benefits from both. Again, bad idea by Game Freak. But anyway, we're going to be running Flare Blitz, Icicle Crash, Earthquake, and U-Turn on this Scarf set. I do think that this is his best set. And alternatively, you could run Adamant on this just to be doing even more damage. But honestly, you probably don't even need it. This thing kills a lot in the tier. Its big counters really right now are, I guess Corsola would be its main counter. But the fact that it gets Flare Blitz means that Ferrothorn can't switch in on it. What are some other big ones? Excadrill can't switch in. If it goes for a Flare Blitz, Ditto can't switch in on it. Icicle Crash kills Dragapult and you're faster with Scarf. Icicle Crash probably would take a Corviknight out. This thing is absolutely insane. There's not a whole lot of counters to this. Rotom Wash can probably take one hit from this, but it also has U-Turn. So you're going to bring your Rotom Wash in, it goes for U-Turn, switches out, and it's in a better position. So, this mon's crazy. The next set, which is personally the set that I use a lot more, is Jolly Band. Now this thing is holding 2 choice bands. Yes, they stack. The ability, Guerrilla Tactics, stacks with the choice band, so he's holding 2 choice bands. Nothing survives. This thing is insane. Now one thing to keep in mind about this, and choice items in general, is when you Dynamax, you lose the boosts. However, when Galarian Darmanitan Dynamaxes, it keeps the boost from Guerrilla Tactics. You keep your ability, you lose your item. So just make sure that you keep that in mind. That's why your damage when you Dynamax isn't like absolutely obliterating everything, is because you are losing your Choice Band boost, but you're keeping your Guerrilla Tactics boost. So this thing is still crazy powerful. Even as a Dynamaxer, typically I wouldn't choose to make this my Dynamaxer, but in a dire situation, if you need to, it still does really well. And you can always switch moves when you are Dynamaxed. I think you can still change moves when you're Dynamaxed even with Gorilla Tactics. I don't know that for sure. I haven't Dynamaxed with this thing yet. I usually use other things to Dynamax. But usually, if you have a choice item, you can still change moves once you Dynamax. So this third set, we're going to move away from the absolutely busted Gorilla Tactics. And the reason we're only using choice sets is because he's choiced anyway. So there's no reason to use any other items than choice items on him. And so we're going to move on to his hidden ability, Zen Mode. Now, if you remember Zen Mode from original Darmanitan, you know that original Zen Mode is really not great. First of all, it boosts his special attack by a lot, and it makes him really, really slow. So I think the idea behind it was to make him a Trick Room user, a mon that works well in Trick Room. But it just never really worked out that way. Its move pool was still limited on the special side. It just didn't do very well. Well, Zen Mode on this boy, yeah, they fixed it. And so he is now even faster and hits even harder when he's in Zen Mode, which is absolutely crazy. And he's not choiced. Now, typically, since you are not forced to be choiced on this, you're going to run a different set. And the set that I've chosen is going to be a Heavy Duty Boots Belly Drum set. This ensures that when you come in, even if there are rocks or spikes or anything like that up, you do not get affected by it. This also helps with Sticky Web. So if your opponent has set up Sticky Web against you, you will not lose your speed. And that's very important. You don't want to lose speed on Darmanitan and end up losing it because of that. And so on this, we're going to be running Fire Punch and Ice Punch. The reason we're running that over Flare Blitz and Icicle Crash: Fire Punch doesn't have recoil like Flare Blitz does, and Ice Punch doesn't miss nearly as much as Icicle Crash, and you really aren't going to need that extra power if you're at +6. This thing is going to do absolute insane damage, and as long as you're outspeeding, you are going to absolutely wreck whatever has come in. If this gives you any indication, right here, this is the normal attack stat for Galarian Darmanitan, and he gets 20 more points when he goes into Zen Mode. The bigger point is his speed. He goes from 95 to 135. That's also insane. 135 speed is an amazing speed tier, and there is not much that can outspeed you. Dragapult does, and so you have to be careful of that, and other fast Scarfers will outspeed you. But barring that, you're going to outspeed basically anything you want to. So this Zen Mode set is fun, especially since he turns into a little snowman. I've always wanted a snowman Pokemon, and so I think that this is a great way for us to get it. But yeah, so I think that this is probably his best Zen Mode set. And I really don't think Zen Mode is all that bad. And so that's why I could see them getting rid of Gorilla Tactics. I really think that this ability needs to go. I think it's way too good. But I think Zen Mode could actually be okay. Even with those ridiculously high stats, the 55 defenses allow him to be revenge killed by anything that's really scarfed. I believe a Rotom that is scarfed can outspeed you, a Rotom Heat, and it will definitely OHKO you with Overheat. So this thing really isn't insanely bulky, but the 105 HP helps a lot. Just to keep in mind this as well, if you are running Belly Drum on a Mon, you want to make sure that the HP stat is even. This ensures that you will go into Zen Mode when you use your Belly Drum, assuming that you scared something out. Usually this trick is used with berries, with your berries that would activate at 50%. This would put you right below that line. This allows you to do it with Belly Drum. And so always make sure that you are at 352 and not 351. And I may have not changed that on the other ones. I did not, but just in the future, we'll change that when we get there. So this next set is going to be a power-up punch set on Zen Mode. Now, the reason that we run this is it is less of a HP commitment than Belly Drum. Belly Drum is going to automatically put you into Zen, which is nice. That way you are in control of when you go into Zen mode. But if you would rather preserve your HP, then you could run a power-up punch set, because you really aren't going to need that many boosts with a base 160 attack. And with a base 135 speed, you really don't need all that much help. With this, actually, we're going to run Jolly, not Adamant, because we really don't need it. And we're going to match this. Now, since we do not need Belly Drum, we don't have to be a even number. And Heavy Duty Boots, and just switching out Power Up Punch for instead of Belly Drum. And we can actually run Icicle Crash on this, since you're not sacrificing your health on this. You might be able to take a hit, and so the accuracy isn't as big of a deal for the power. And so I think that this is actually a decent set as well, if you don't feel like sacrificing half your health for, you're getting +6 attack, which is crazy. Now Belly Drum, I do say +6. Belly Drum actually gives you a +12, so even if you're at -6, it will maximize your attack. But obviously, normally you're going to be at neutral when this activates. And so the last set, we have to include a meme set. And so yes, this set is a meme, but I also would be interested to see how well it works out. It's a Yawn set. Now, this set, I think, is interesting, to say the least, because this Pokemon forces switches. That is why I think this might not be the worst. So you bring this in on something like Ferrothorn, that knows that it can't take a Flare Blitz or a Fire Punch or anything like that. Whatever switches in is, not only do you get the information from your opponent on what it thinks that is a good counter, but you also are getting ready to put it to sleep, and so it can't counter him anymore. Now, normally you would just deal with this with U-turn and just get out, but if you can put the Galarian Darmanitan counter to sleep, then you are going to be in a really good position. You could throw Protect on this set and just run the Icicle Crash and Flare Blitz or Fire Punch, but I also like the coverage of Earthquake. But Protect could allow you to make sure that Mon goes to sleep, and so, that may not be a bad idea. Alternatively, you could still run U-turn if you're faster than the Mon, just to get a little bit of damage off if they decide to switch out again. So instead of Earthquake, you could just as well run U-turn. So yeah, but I don't think this set is nearly as much of a meme. I actually think that it could do some work, especially if you have hazards on their side of the field. It's basically, make a decision. Either your Pokemon switches in, your new Pokemon switches in and takes more hazard damage, or you stay in and go to sleep. So it's a lose-lose situation, really, for your opponent. And if you have U-turn, then you see what their next Pokemon is that they were going to send in. Or you could go for double Yawn. Either way. But yeah, so I think that this set could be decent. So yeah, that is going to be it for today. I think this Mon is absolutely busted, and I really think that it's going to get banned eventually. I would hope that they just ban Guerrilla Tactics, just because I love this thing's design, and I love the Zen mode. I think its design is amazing. The little snowman that hops around. If you haven't seen it, we'll show it to you here on screen. Let's see. There he is. There's the little snowman, and he just hops up and down. He's really happy. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Now, I am working on a bigger video, and in this one, I guess I'll explain a little more what this video is going to be. It is basically going to be the ultimate breeding guide. It's going to be an EV training guide. It's going to be a money guide. And the reason I'm including so many things in one video rather than splitting them up is going to be because this is my process. I've had a few people who I talked to, and they've asked me, how do you make these competitive Pokemon? How do you breed them quickly? How do you have like max money in your game already? How is this happening? And so I want to show you. I want to show you all of the steps that I take in order to get the Pokemon that I need. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about what is going on, why we breed Pokemon for IVs, why we give EVs and what those do, as well as going from start to finish. We go catch a Pokemon in the wild, and we start to breed it. I'll be explaining egg moves in this guide, as well as many other things. And so I think this is going to be a really cool video. And in the description, I will be leaving timestamps as well to each part. So if there's a part that I'm talking about that you know all of this information already, but you'd like to see something else, that's fine. Skip to that next part of the video and just watch the part that you want. It'll probably be a really long video, and I don't know exactly when it's going to go up. I was hoping it would go up today, but I don't think that that's going to happen. So I'm going to try to have it up by the end of the week. That is my goal. But so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Also, coming up in the future, I will be bringing you some Wi-Fi battles very soon. I almost have a singles team ready, and I believe I'm going to live stream my Galar Beginnings matches. I believe I will live stream those on YouTube, and so if you want to come out and watch that, it'd be greatly appreciated if you came out and watched some of those battles. I'll be explaining what I'm thinking, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to do that together. And I have a couple other series planned, but I don't want to reveal those just yet because I'm working on getting some other people to join me for that set. So anyway, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I know it's a little longer than our normal video would be, but I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for another guide on another Pokemon. We may cover some of these highly used Pokemon. We'll probably cover Dragapult here very soon, and Corviknight, and just some other really interesting mons. But until next time, guys, you have a good day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.